Yay! Thank you to all of our listeners. If you're new here, if you've been here for a while, we have a celebration today. I'm Leah Piper, your Tantra expert, and I am with the beautiful
Dr. Willow Brown, your Taoist expert, and we have hit our 100th episode, which is no small feat. Only 11% of podcasts actually hit 100 episodes.
Yes, make it to 100th episode. So we are very proud of ourselves, and we just want to celebrate and thank everyone out there who's been listening, who comments, who's shared our episodes with their friends and family. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with us.
Yeah, it's been so much fun getting all the comments and feedbacks on our YouTube channel. If you haven't gone over to our YouTube channel to subscribe, please do so, because that's really growing and that really helps us get the word out even further and wider.
Yeah, one of the things you'll notice on YouTube is that we have an audio version and then we also have a video version. The audio version automatically updates through an RSS feed that is connected to our podcast hosting company. So they're the ones that send our show out to all the various apps, and YouTube is one of the receivers of those. Now, the same exact episode you will also get on YouTube, but you can see it visually. So we can charm you with our smiles, with our gasps, including you get to see all of our guests and hear their stories. There's something about, I think, visually hearing content. I know sometimes for me, the audio version's better. Like if I'm running errands, if I'm in the car, if I'm, doing chores around the house, I like to listen to things, to consume them. But there's other content that I really like to be able to sit and watch, how the people interact, how there's a chemistry that you can sometimes only get visually.
Yeah, absolutely. So both are valuable.
Yeah, now that we've been doing this, our 2-year anniversary is going to be in October. And one of the things that I really want to pour over, things to look forward to in the future is like taking a look at which episodes are our highest ranking episodes and kind of take a look at the content from those episodes so that we can find out, what do you guys really want? One of the ways that you can help us not guess is just to tell us, who do you want to see on the show and what are the topics that are most interesting to you? Because there's so many places we could deepen the show, depending on all these different sectors of sexuality and intimacy and relationships and personal growth. And how do we become a better partner if partnership is something that we're interested in? Do you want more information on things like open relationships, or do you want more information on how to pair bond with one person? Are you looking for techniques that will make you a better lover in the bedroom? Or what you really want to learn is things about communication and how to show up for yourself and self-love and how to, take your pleasure to the next level. All these things, we just really want to know what you're hungry for. One of the things that we're excited about this month is our lineup. To celebrate this benchmark that we've reached, we've really wanted to pull together a great group of people to have a really celebratory month. So we're starting off this 100th episode monthly sort of celebration with Dana Shergill. Do you remember how to pronounce her last name?
I think it's Shergill. Yeah.
Oh, Shergill. And she's a kinky wellness coach. What I really loved about her is how she's blending a wellness perspective in with sort of the BDSM and kink perspective and exploration. So her episode is out August 6th. Be sure to check that out.
Followed by Mr. One and Only Lee Holden talking about Taoist sexuality, talking about how we can use our sexual energy to cultivate more health, more vitality, more longevity in our bodies. And really was a great episode, just getting a deeper perspective on how the Tao can open you up to all kinds of pleasures in life. So enjoy that.
He was really got the honor of the 100th episode. So thank you so much, Lee. For those of you who don't know Lee Holden, that would be a surprise, but he is one of the aforementioned Taoist and Qigong teachers really across the globe, but especially in the US. Mm-hmm. So if you've been into Qigong at all, you definitely know who Lee Holden is, and otherwise you should find out. One thing that I really appreciated from that episode was looking at having a daily practice. And we talked about Qigong, how it is both, it's this thing that relaxes you. It's an active art form that brings you into your body, that strengthens your body, that heals your body, but that's also relaxing for your body. Many of us, like, the idea of starting like an exercise routine is not the thing we get excited about. It's this thing that we think we have to do. But the one thing that really inspired me from that episode was like, yeah, I want to wake up. I want to wake up with the birds. I want to wake up with the sun. I want to like allow myself to really come into nature and feel a certain flow and restore my system so that I can be more resilient in life.
It's so powerful. It's such an incredible practice. It's certainly changed my life, and I honestly don't know how people live without it.
Yeah.
So check that episode out. You're gonna love it. And then who we have after that is the Shameless Sex Girls.
Yeah, our
April
homies.
and Amy. We love them so much. And on that episode, they're really talking about their book that they just launched. So I feel so proud of them for getting that book out into the world. Really incredible work that they've been doing over the past. I think they've had their podcast running, I want to say, almost 6 years now, 5 to 6 years.
You're probably about right.
Yeah.
And for those of you who've been, listening to podcasts in the sexuality realm, you're probably really familiar with the Shameless Sex podcast. And they have been, in our orbit for a long time. It was really, they've been on our show. I think this is their fourth.
Third or fourth.
No,
yeah.
it's their fourth. They've each had separate episodes on our show, and then we've had one with them together, and then this is
And
our
then
fourth.
this one. Okay.
And we've been on their show multiple times, and it's just wonderful to be in an industry where women are really supporting each other. And they've been really generous with their support of us kicking our show off. And you really get to see sort of the chemistry between the four of us. And it was an honor to celebrate their achievement and to listen to their story of getting this book deal and where it's taken them, the healing process that they've had on their own journey as a result of writing a book, their dedication of really wanting to give their listeners more information so they can have a great sex life. And the girls are just funny. They told us stories about filming and recording the Audible version of their book, which I can imagine is so much fun to listen to because of their personalities and how funny they are. So if you're a fan of the Shameless Sex podcast, you do not want to miss that episode. And if you want to be exposed to new content, definitely check out those ladies.
Yeah,
and then
our final episode for this month is me and Leah. Once again, kind of celebrating this month that this achievement that we've made, that we've worked hard. Podcasts are not easy. This is not an easy journey to take, y'all. But those of you those of you who do run podcasts, you know what it takes. And so it's just really wonderful to celebrate with all of you and to celebrate ourselves. I think that's one of the things that so many people in the world forget to do is to celebrate their own achievements. It's so easy to celebrate others, but that's one of the things I love about you, Leah, is you are so celebratory, like just with ease, and you're just, always like, oh, well, that's great. Well, good for you. You're just always looking for the celebration to be had. So,
well, one of the things I learned from Regina, Mama Gina, is this idea of bragging. Yeah, it's like, have a brag. Like we tend to share oftentimes first things that we're struggling with. We tend to put our achievements on the back burner. If we do brag, it's usually because we are celebrating somebody else, like our kid or our spouse or something. And I think it's really important for women to go, hey, I did this. And I just want to brag that this feels really good. I accomplished something. I experienced something. I let something go. I brought something in. I made a step forward. I'm awesome. So, when you hear someone brags, one of the things that the sister goddesses all do is we say, well bragged. Go on, girl.
Well bragged.
So we are bragging that we made it this far. And I think one of the things I'd like to ask you, Willow, is what has changed in your life since starting the podcast?
I think just like we've had so many incredible speakers on the podcast. So, as different perspectives have opened my mind. I mean, I've been a practitioner for over a couple decades now, and I've always had sort of one view on hormones. That's totally completely
Yeah,
changed,
that's so
so
cool.
that's really cool. Perspectives and mindset opening around kink and BDSM. That's really an exciting place that both of us are in a turning point right now around. So that's opening up and gonna be an interesting exploration these next few years,
Right.
right? We were just talking about that actually before we hopped on the call, and how it's definitely a steep learning curve, right? It
Yeah.
brings up a lot of stuff when you step towards something that you're not comfortable with, you don't know it really well. It's so that's what I think what the podcast has done for me, and I know for you too, Leah, is just like opened up new perspectives and showed us where we are experts and where we're not,
Yeah.
and to really just impart that to our audience. Even when we would hop on a call, I think we just did a recent recording around infidelity, and first thing we said was like, we're not experts on this,
Yeah.
but we're just exploring. And so just being open and having conversations with the people that we get to talk to is definitely life altering. So
Wow, I really echo everything you just said. It's been really cool to hang out with different industry people. And I think it's something like Tantra for me is like so niche down. It can be like almost like I'm not gonna say, I want to say like religious, but it's not religious. It's almost like your community is sort of like you just attract people who all feel the same way. So I
mhm.
feel like of having exposure to these researchers and these authors and people who are doing different things, who have a different perspective, who, everything from like bringing erotica into my life. Like there's so many
Yeah.
things that it's been wonderful to be enriched by other people doing other work. It's really been one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
I think something else I've really gotten out of this and really appreciate is it's forced me to make content.
Yeah.
Like I'm so glad we're doing this together. I mean, another thing I've gotten from this is our relationship deepening, how
For
much
sure.
time we get to spend because of the podcast together. I
Yeah.
feel like our friendship has just deepened. And I love having a business wife,
Hmm.
someone to collaborate with, someone to hold me accountable, someone to create with. I really learned that about myself through this process is like, I need a team of seekers alongside me to generate something, to put something into form. If I'm left to my own devices, I'll get things done for sure. I can be very self motivated and I'm good at like creating deadlines and meeting them for myself. But I would have never stuck with this if I was doing it by myself.
I mean,
Like,
neither. Never,
so too
ever.
much work, too much
Yeah.
effort, too much energy you have to generate all by yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm super grateful for like what we've been able to produce. There's
Yeah.
something about the podcast that's alchemized a lot of our other projects, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
And so although it's not like a paid gig at all, in
Not yet,
Sex
anyway.
Reimagination, I
We're on
know
our way.
we'd like some sponsors, please.
We are getting a few. We'll take a few more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sponsor call to sponsors.
The especially since I'm not doing the weekend circuit with Source Tantra anymore, I really just help with their certification trainings now. It's
Hmm.
wonderful to still be in front of people
Yeah.
and to still hopefully be generating brand trust. And, I've certainly gotten wonderful students out of the podcast. I'm so grateful for those of you who've, checked out our websites, been to the Sex Reimagined course store, and
Hmm.
has taken a look at what we do and how we try to serve people.
Hmm.
And if you don't know, we've got coupon codes all over the show notes for people who are interested in courses that Willow and I have created.
Yeah, we've created some really amazing courses. So check those out. And yeah, it's definitely fun to get people from the podcast coming in for private coaching as well. They're so
Yeah.
cute. They're like, I feel nervous talking to you. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, I feel nervous talking to you too.
yeah.
Like we're all just humans. We're all just here. And it's so sweet to get to know each and every one of you more one-on-one and more personally. So we love that.
Is there an episode, like if there's let me know, like, what episodes really stand out to you as being some of your favorites from these last 100
You know which
episodes?
one I loved so much? I thought it was one of our best was I can't remember her name right now, but she wrote the book Exodai. And she had a like a sub-dom
Oh, from
relationship.
in
The
Japan.
English woman in
Yes,
Japan.
we haven't broadcasted that one yet, so you guys are going to be able to look
Oh, you
forward to
guys are gonna
this.
love
That
that
was an
one.
interesting
It was
episode.
just fascinating. And then
Yeah.
I also really loved, now I'm not great with names, but we had the man from Compton, and he was the brother of the
Yes.
sisters, and he had an incredible story as well. Like sisters who had been sexually molested like pretty much his whole life, and the whole family had kept it a secret from him. And so there was a lot going on there, a lot to unpack. So I just love the stories.
Yeah, that was
I feel like
Keeper.
Keeper.
We've also not released that episode yet. So these are 2 episodes you guys will be able to look forward to. Once we release those, I'll put them in the show notes for this episode, but keep your eye out for Keeper Cartran Whitney, his story of sort of incest in the family and what it was like to be the brother of sisters who were getting molested in the home. Really amazing story. He's doing amazing work out there.
Yeah. And then, of course, love having Sherry Winston on, and so much fun having Allison Armstrong on. We've got to have both of them twice, which is just a huge honor.
Yeah.
Some of our sheroes out there in the world. And then Mare Simone, she's one of my faves. I send her podcast out, Cervical Orgasms, to so many women all the time. I think that's another great thing that I really love about the podcast is it's almost like a business card, but with different flavors on each one. You know, it's like depending on who I'm talking to, I'm like, oh, this is what you're interested in. Oh, go watch this episode or go watch that episode. And it's just a great way to spread the word about, how to reimagine what sexuality actually is, because we grow up with such a finite view of what sexuality is, what it should be, and it really limits what's possible for us.
Yeah. I really loved our episodes with Debbie Ward Erickson.
Oh, yeah, those were great
She's
too.
so dynamic. She
Yeah.
has so many beautiful things to share. I love the way she shares them and sort of her lens and take on Tantra, I think is really cool.
Yes.
I loved her stories also of like where she came from. And I don't know if it's because we're both from Michigan, but she's got something. She's got her finger on the pulse. And I love what she's accomplished too.
She's
the
accomplished
accreditation she's
a
gotten
lot.
at universities for,
Yes.
especially for Tantra, is I think something to be really celebrated. I really loved both of our interviews with her.
Yeah.
Our Ibiza.
Oh,
Boy.
the Ibiza boy. That was a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to pull up his name and just calling him Ibiza
Ibiza boy.
But I'm almost there. Where are you, cutie? Alex,
Yeah.
Mishka.
Alex. Oh yeah, he was so fun. He was great.
And
I sent his episode to a lot of men.
Yeah. I loved what
His
he's doing.
Gosh, names
Leonard?
are so Leonard. I sent to a bunch of men as well, and then also
Freddie.
Thank you.
Yeah,
knew.
Freddie's
Yeah.
episode, great. But those 3 were really great. Really focusing on men's sexuality. I really actually loved our episode with Natalie Frasca. I don't know how many views that people really have really seen that. We're talking about abortion, and I think that is, maybe not a topic people are searching for on the internet to listen about, but it was so profound on so many levels, the way that our 3 stories converged and on such a hot topic. And it was right around when the abortion thing was being reversed, and
Roe versus Wade,
it was an impactful episode, I think, especially for women who've both had the journey, and for us to stumble upon that topic during the episode itself. It wasn't something that was planned. We did not think we were headed in that direction, but I found it extremely meaningful.
No, it was a great episode.
I did love that episode with Mara and the cervical orgasms for sure. I loved our episode with Susan.
Oh, Susan Bratton?
Yeah. She's just so vivacious, such great energy.
Yeah. And we got more coming down the pipeline with her. So stay tuned for that.
And I think the work that Dan Powers is doing with
phenomenal.
Yes.
Surrogate partnership.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, the surrogate partner therapy, both his first episode with that and then also the one we did with Faye.
Faye.
And
Everyone
the
loved
therapist.
that one.
Yeah, people
So
love
many
that
comments
episode.
on that one.
I mean, we're here as a 70-year-old virgin who is, determined to find
Break
pleasure
the
in her
cycle.
body and not die without making out. I mean, so important. It's such beautiful work that people are doing out there.
Love it.
Some funny episodes. Mary Honeybee Morrison, she was a riot. We're talking about erotica and her discovering sex toys and sex as a teenager. She was so fun.
That was cute.
And countless more.
Countless more.
But that was fun
So
to kind
many.
of go down memory lane.
Yeah. So, with that,
toast to you. I wish I had a cup
cheers.
of tea. I would
Or a
ting-ting
glass
it.
of champagne.
Yeah, or if it was a glass of champs
Yeah.
and it was 7:00 at night, I would
We'd
ting
do
ting.
that. Cheers to us, and cheers to all of you for being on the journey with us at whatever point you discovered us. And please continue to share episodes with your people as you find them valuable for yourself, because that's how the web is weaved.
Yeah, and if you want to celebrate by buying us a cup of coffee, we do have a PayPal account. And send you so much love.
Thanks for tuning in. This episode was hosted by Tantric Sex Master Coach and Positive Psychology Facilitator Leah Piper, as well as by Chinese and Functional Medicine Doctor and Taoist Sexology Teacher Dr. Willow Brown. Don't forget, your comments, likes, subscribes, and suggestions matter. Let's realize this new world together.